What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and this is my Tearlaments Kashtira deck profile for, the upcoming format as soon as we're going to be getting Photon Hypernova in February, because right now it doesn't really exist. I mean, the Tearlaments Kashtira deck does exist. I actually did play something very similar to that in the Remote Duel YCS, and the deck was really good, but I did play like Bestial Monsters, and I kind of maxed out on, well, I played a third Mudora. Ooh, big deal. It's not like I played like a Guido or something, but how do I like this deck? I like it a lot. It's a really good deck, very high ceiling level. It also has a very high floor level because all the Kashtira monsters, they do something very relevant. So Unicorn, you can also summon it under the Windbearer statue, and it's a one-card combo. It's like 3 bodies just on its own, which is really ridiculous. Fenrir is like generically very good, so everybody understand why it's good. And then this is like a new Hafnis, so you can even summon it on your opponent's turn, and then mill a bunch of cards, trigger some tier names, and start playing on turn 0, which is very nice. You know, your turn? No, our turn. Anyways, before this deck profile starts, friendly reminder to smash the like and subscribe button. Let's freaking go. I know you can do it. I know you have it in you. Ah, my man, what are you waiting for? And let's try to get this video to 1,000 likes, because as soon as we hit that, I will be making a beautiful live stream on this deck. You already know it. And now let's proceed. Alright, so for the Kashtira monsters, I don't want to play like 3 of these ones because I don't really want to draw like duplicates. So only 2 Unicorn and 2 Fenrir. I mean, I'm playing like 3 Parezos anyways, well, 2 with 1 Terraforming, so it ends up being the same. So yeah, we really don't have to play like 3 of these. However, Tearlaments Kashtira, I really do want to play 3 because I actually want to draw it on my opponent's turn so that I can summon it as a hand shop. Very nice card. So yeah, it's just insane. Also, milling it is really good. If you mill it, you can mill an extra 2 cards. So it's kind of similar to the garbage Minerva. Not the good one, the bad one. I think that's the one that mills an extra card when it's milled by a light sword. Something like that, whatever. This is basically the same, but what is really relevant is its in-hand effect. And by the way, banishing a Kashtira Tearlaments card from the hand or grave can actually be beneficial if you're banishing the PHHYs, because once this card is banished, you can recycle back a banished Kashtira card to your hand, and the Rise Heart can actually banish cards from your deck. So you can banish the Birth and then banish the PHHYs to summon the Kashtira, and then recycle back the Birth and then just like extend even more, which is really nice actually. And the final Kashtira monster that I'm playing is 1 Rise Heart. So you're not really trying to like special summon this card more very often, but I mean, you are. It's just like at the very end of your combo. Not like you can't really start your plays with this because it's going to be locking you under Xyz, and that's really what I wanted to say. So yeah, be very careful with this card. And sometimes you might not even want to use the effect banish a card, etc., because you want to keep it as a level 4 so that you can maybe make like a Dweller or Baguska or something. Right now, I'm not main decking Dweller. Well, I mean, playing it in my extra deck because I already have something that is very similar to Dweller in the form of a Rise Heart. So, if I can like macro Cosmos cards, that's kind of better than Dwellering my opponent in a way. Whatever. I mean, it ends up being the same to a certain extent. And now for the Tearlaments cards, I'm playing the exact same lineup as pretty much every other human on Earth. So triple Shaylin, triple Hafnis, triple Merly, and then double Reinoheart. Reinoheart is very much up in the air. Some people play 1, 2, or 3. I like 2. It's probably the best balance. It gives you a little more access to Kaleido Heart, which is a really good card. And then, Hafnis is a hand shop, very insane. Meru is a card that you can send with the sprint so that you can easily have access to Kid Kalos even when you don't really have a lot of tier cards going into rotation. And for the ISHIZU cards, this is kind of weird, and I don't really know how to explain it, but triple Kaldo, obviously, triple Kelbeck, but only 2 Mudora because I really wanted to play only 40 cards, and I couldn't really find like something else to cut if I wanted to incorporate the 1 Rise Heart. So I just wanted to cut like the 3rd Mudora because it's usually the worst ISHIZU monster out there. I guess Agido is also not super great, but it is decent if you're not really expecting a lot of mirror matches. However, if I'm not even playing Agido, if I'm not playing 3 Mudora, why would I even consider Agido in the first place? And yeah, that's it for the monsters. And for the spell cards, the spells in this deck are just insane, man. Terraforming is better than ever because now you can draw Terraforming in the Pearl Arena and not cry because the Terraforming can actually search another field spell, which allows you to end on even more interruptions. Very filthy, by the way. Anyways, Instant Fusion, great card, of course. 1-card combo, PHHYs, you search this with the Unicorn, and then Birth, which you also search with the Unicorn. So this revives back from the grave and banished, and then this summons back from the deck. Well, summons from the deck, not really back from. However, one thing that I can say is that if your opponent summoned the Mud Dragon of the Swamp and calls the attribute of the 1 Kashtira monster that you have on the field, you cannot legally activate PHHYs. This is a little problematic, so In a way, the Mud Dragon of the Swamp is kind of an interruption against the Kashtira engine, so be careful of that. This card's really annoying, and it can also hurt the Kid Kalos in a way. But anyways, 1 Scream, because I'm playing a bunch of trap cards, and then 1 Birth, 2 Perezos, triple field spells, and then double Sulic with 1 Crime. This is very interchangeable. Maybe there is a world where you play like 1 Sulic, 1 Crime, or 2 Sulic, 0 Crime, or 1 Sulic and nothing else. It really is up to like personal preference and what you think is better in like your testing. But this deck actually mills like so much because you also have Tearlaments Kashtira, which mills like 3 cards when it is summoned and an extra 2 cards when it is sent to the graveyard by a card effect. So it's very easy to mill like a bunch of cards on 1 turn and easily mill the Sulic or mill Scream. Sometimes you mill the Crime and then you can recycle back a Tearlaments card that you banished with the Tearlaments Kashtira. So even milling the Crime is really not the end of the world if you can, you know, abuse this little synergy very well. But that's it for the main deck, and now for the extra deck. You might be wondering why I'm playing 2 copies of Kid Kalos and 2 copies of Kaleido Heart. I'm really trying to play around Diablosis and Unicorn, because if they make me lose like my 1-ofs, I lose. So this, like playing 1 Kid Kalos is going to be like unacceptable very soon. You're just going to be folding to like a single Diablosis. That's really not something that you can accept. So yeah, this has to be played as a 2-of. And I want to say it's probably like somewhat of a similar logic with Kaleido Heart. It's like the big boss monster that allows you to just like do so much going first and second. It floats like crazy, it breaks boards, it establishes boards. This card does everything you can ask for outside of it just doesn't really get anything started for you unless you have the field spell so that you can destroy it and send some tier cards to, you know, get even more advantage. But yeah, very nice card, and that's the reason why I'm playing a second copy, just to like protect it from cards that would make me lose 1 copy of a card in my extra deck. Anyways, 1 Lulukaros, 1 Dragos Tapelia, 1 Garura. I can actually win the game without these cards more conveniently than without these cards. Convincingly, my bad. And then Mud Dragon of the Swamp, because I might be able to like summon it on turn 1 if I'm using like Dark, for example, or Garura, but it's a little it's really hard to do, honestly. So I don't know if this card's really worth it, but we'll see. And finally, Zeus with the Rise Art, Diablosis. I really like this package, honestly. And then Shangri-La, Baguska, Dark, and finally Sprint. So yeah, 40 cards in the main deck, 15 cards in the extra deck, obviously. And now for the idea section. Not really that this matters, but I mean, these cards could actually be nice. So obviously, Banshee with the Zombie World. Very nice against Flunderies and whatever else these cards could be good against. And then the third Mudora, if you really want to play like 3 Mudoras and then only 1 Salic, you can do that. 1 Draco Sack with the Cherubini. I don't really recommend this because you just start playing into like the Bestials if your line of play is linking off a bunch of really powerful monsters into a Sprint so that you can send a Merely. And then obviously the Beatrice, if you want to play the Bestial monsters, they're good. It's just that they conflict with the Kashtira, so you can only really play one and not both engines. And yeah, anyways, time 3 for Doer with Dweller. More rank 4s that were very hard to incorporate because I really wanted to play like 2 copies of all these cards. But again, you can definitely play the Dweller if you cut Kaleido Heart to 1. I just don't think Dweller is necessary when you already have a Rise Art in your extra deck. Anyways, Asa with Spread Elf, Cherubini, Duster, Triple Tactics, Heartbeats, and yeah, like I said, the Zombie World. I don't really want to main deck Heartbeats. I don't think you really have to be afraid of anything anymore. Like Mystic Mine is no longer a thing, so I can't really deck out like a single spell and trap. And then Triple Tactic Talents is a decent card, but I'm also not trying to main deck this card because if I mill it, my opponent can go Wallow to like set it and then use it to like make me lose a card from the hand. So yeah, I really don't want that to happen at all. And then the Duster is like an unsearchable Saki 1-of, so very random. The Asa is good at reviving back your opponent's Fenrir, and you can link it off. Oh, you can link summon it using the ISHIZU monsters, so that's also pretty nice. And the Elf I just really don't think is good anymore because I'm also not playing Diviner of the Heralds. But that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Actually, peace.